So this is also part of my book where I went through and talked about the immigration industrial complex. And this is a system of NGOs. And, it was as a Christian, it was shocking and, really horrifying to me to see my faith weaponized against the legal process because you have many of these groups that started with noble intentions. Their goal was to help refugees, to help
Sure.
legal immigrants in the United States. They're Christian organizations, groups like Catholic Charities, the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops. And yet now, under the Biden administration, and even a little bit before that, I mean, unfortunately, the first Trump administration was so hampered by the deep state that they were not able to prevent this from happening. But these groups received oodles and oodles of money from the federal government to house and transport illegal aliens across the country. And so they became what I call the immigration industrial complex, because essentially what happened was Biden said, let's open the border. These groups got money. They were paid by your tax dollars
Yeah.
to take illegal immigrants and put them across the country. And it was all in the name of helping refugees. But many of these people, they're not really refugees. The system has been so abused that the threshold for refugee has been lowered. And then even more than that, you have all these illegal aliens who came into the country, they were given a court date and sent on their merry way. Most of them never actually go into court to resolve their issues. And so these people are transported across the country. Thank God the Trump administration said, we're not going to do this anymore. And they canceled the grants for the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops. And the U.S. CCB made a big announcement recently where they said, we're no longer going to do these programs. And here's the kicker. It said these programs could not be funded by private donations. They had to be through U.S. tax dollars. And I'm sitting there and I'm saying, all right, there are a couple of legitimate things that this program did, but it all needs to be like Americans are a generous people. As a Christian, I fund organizations that I believe that are doing good work. And I believe many Americans do likewise. The U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops has a lot of programs. They should be able to raise private funds to help those who are truly in need, those who, they have human trafficking victims. They have people that they have helped in this program that, of course, those are the ones they immediately talk about. Meanwhile, they say, pay no attention to all the illegal aliens who are also helping. But those narrowly tailored programs that can be funded by private donations should continue. There's no reason why our tax dollars should be forced to help people in these situations, and especially not anyone who is violating the law, coming into this country illegally, or being flown in by President Biden. I mean, it's all such a crock. And the idea that our taxpayer dollars that that we're forced to pay at the end of a gun by the US government were used not just for, the occasional charitable cause, which is like, even then, I'm not entirely sure that our taxpayer dollars should be used in this way. But Americans could understand if they're being used to transport illegal aliens across the country. And the Heritage Foundation's Oversight Project found that these illegal aliens went to every single congressional district in America, except for one of them. So this was, this is, if you talk about the great replacement theory, I mean, this has nothing to do with race. It has everything to do with democratic elites that want to import a new underclass so they can have permanent power in this country.
Yes.
And that's the thing. It's not about racial issues. It's about them bringing people in who are not real. Yeah, I mean, it's infuriating to me also because I grew up with legal Mexican immigrants who I really respect. And, every time that one of these illegals is allowed into this country, is allowed to receive taxpayer-funded benefits, is allowed any of these things, that is a humongous insult to the people who went through the process, who honored our laws, who I'm very proud to call my fellow Americans.